Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm going to show you exactly what it's like to drive the all-new Shelby GT500 from a first-person point of view. No longer are Mustangs terrible handling, really fast cars in a straight line. This car can actually lap Chuckwalla Raceway as fast as a Porsche GT3 RS. Yeah, think about that for a second. It's also the most powerful Ford ever made. Powered by a 5.2-liter supercharged V8, it makes 760 horsepower and 625 pound-feet of torque. All the power is sent to those massive rear wheels that in this case are carbon fiber because this car is equipped with the $18,500 carbon fiber performance package. That gives you these gorgeous carbon fiber wheels, that GT4 style rear wing, adjustable top mounted struts. It also gives you these incredibly beautiful and supportive Recaro bucket seats, as well as a rear seat delete for weight saving. The GT500 is menacing from every angle. Just look at those massive exhaust tips, that crazy rear diffuser, and that wing that looks like it's straight out of a GT4 race car. Now, interestingly enough, Ford definitely wants you to know that this is a Shelby because there are very few actual Ford logos on the car. We've got a little Ford logo on those carbon fiber wheel center caps, as well as a little Ford logo up here on the windshield. But other than that, check it out. Shelby down here, GT500, a snake logos on the side and rear as well. Now let's go ahead and hop on the interior, shall we? The interior is very traditional Mustang, and considering you can option these cars to well over $100,000, it's not the most luxurious interior around, but it is very purpose-built. These seats are so comfortable yet supportive. I really like these gauges. And the tachometer is absolutely beautiful. I'm not a massive fan of the touchscreen infotainment. Now, if you opt for the $3,000 technology package, you'll get upgraded 980-watt Bang & Olufsen sound system, as well as a touchscreen 10.1-inch display. It's pretty crazy that you can get a Bang & Olufsen system in a Mustang that's a track-focused beast. I love the GT500 logo right there with the chassis number. Now, there are a multitude of driving modes to choose from before we actually get out on the road itself that can be toggled via this switch right here. So if we run through the modes, check out the instrument cluster: track mode, drag strip mode, slippery mode, normal mode, my mode, and then sport mode. If we go back to my mode, you can actually click this button right here to put it into my mode. Then you can actually adjust the mode to your exact liking. So you can individually control the steering feel, the suspension setup, the exhaust, so on and so forth, which I think is awesome. Well, the car is already on. The stop start button is located right here. Let's go ahead and shut it off. Fire it back up again. That does not get old. Now, the shifter is right here. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and manual. I like also that they've got this little spot for your phone right here. Now, this is the first GT500 in Shelby's history that doesn't come with an available manual transmission. We just have a 7-speed dual clutch transmission with these paddles mounted behind the steering wheel because Ford says that they want this to be a lap-focused track car, not so much a row your own gears, slower but more fun vehicle. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard the GT500 was gonna have 760 horsepower and be rear-wheel drive, I figured it would be a total death trap that was terrifying to drive and had absolutely no traction. And that could not be further from the truth. The amount of mechanical grip that Ford has achieved with this car is truly staggering. And the acceleration, I mean, it can put the power down bafflingly well. A lot of that is thanks to 305 section Michelin Cup 2s in the front and 315s in the rear. But also their traction control management and suspension layout soaks up bumps and keeps those wheels planted on the ground at all times. Now, we don't have carbon ceramic brakes, but when I mash on these steel... Oh my God, I couldn't even say the word brakes while I was decelerating. 16.5-inch rotors in the front. How crazy is that? And you can hammer them time and time again without any sort of brake fade. the sounds this car makes. It's terrifying. And my God, the acceleration is brutal. We've got these really nice shift indicators on the heads-up display that let me know when to shift, so I don't have to stare down at the tachometer. Although I will say this is one of the coolest tachometers in the business. Very much reminds me of the Ford GT. Seats are keeping me in place very, very well. Absolutely no body roll through the corners. It is as planted as it gets and inspires so much more confidence than you would ever imagine from a Mustang. There really is no excuse anymore. You can't say, oh, whatever, it's an American car, it can't handle, or oh, everything's made of plastic. No, this is a full-fledged track monster in every sense of the word. 0 to 60 happens in 3.3 seconds, quarter mile in 10.6 seconds. Those are serious performance numbers for a rear-wheel drive front-engine car. Imagine how fast this thing would be if it had an all-wheel drive launch capability. Now, this is the first GT500 ever that comes without the availability of a manual transmission, which definitely upset a decent amount of people. But Ford says not only did they not have a transmission capable of withstanding 760 horsepower and 625 pound-feet of torque, they didn't want to because they wanted this car to be as fast as possible around the track, and the DCT will allow it to do that as opposed to a manual. And honestly, the DCT in this car is absolutely brilliant. It shifts so quickly. Upshifts and downshifts are extremely responsive, and it also makes really nice downshift noises. Sometimes you get a DCT that doesn't have the most satisfying downshifts, but this absolutely does. And honestly, I think the car is too fast for a manual transmission. It really is absolutely ridiculous. Now, half the fun in this car is the sound. That 5.2 liter supercharged V8 with that supercharger whine. It's got a little bit of characteristic sound like from the Hellcat, where you get that crazy whine, but you get a lot more pure exhaust note in this car than the Hellcat, which is pretty much all just whine of the supercharger. This, you can actually hear that glorious V8. Let's go ahead and turn around. Turning radius isn't the best, but really no track cars are. We've got a backup camera, which is nice. All right, back on the road we go. Go into manual mode right here, flick down a couple gears, let you listen to this beast. Oh my God, this car is unfrickin' believable. What's crazy is you can almost daily drive it as well. You've got a massive trunk. Because we've got that carbon track package with no rear seats, you've got tons of storage there as well. You got decent visibility. I mean, fantastic visibility out of the front. Over your shoulders, honestly, it's not bad as well. And if you get that technology package for $3,000, you get a Bang & Olufsen sound system. So you're definitely not going to be angry about the audio quality in this beast. Steering feel is great. You don't have a ton of communication between the tires and your hands, but the actual weight of the steering and the feel of turn-in is phenomenal. It's just such a balanced experience. Now let's go ahead and toggle through the modes, shall we? We'll put it into normal mode, take it out of manual. And this car is super easy to drive. Obviously, it's loud and it looks really fast and aggressive. You're definitely not going under the radar by any means, but you can drive this around town, no problem at all. Despite the fact that it's incredible around the track, this is going to be a much more comfortable everyday car than something like a Porsche GT3 RS. It's also 3 times less money. Now, I'm not claiming that this car is better than a GT3 RS. I mean, there's some elements that are better than a 3 RS, and there's some elements, of course, that are better in the 3 RS than this. But you can't deny the value for the money is pretty crazy, considering this car starts at just $72,000. Now, they're going for a lot more than that on the used car market. In fact, this one is actually for sale by my friend Joe. I've got a link to his Instagram in the comment section below, in the description, excuse me, if you want to actually message him and end up with this car. It's pretty awesome. Despite weighing 4,200 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a sports car, it does shrink around you. Yes, it is a wide and big car, but the amount of confidence it inspires, it really ends up feeling like a smaller car than it is. And it feels so much more like an AMG GTR than a Mustang that's gonna fishtail and end up killing you. This is not a crowd killer. This is a track beast. I know the memes are crazy, but you'd almost be hard-pressed unless you turn traction all the way off and purposely wanted to crash into people to lose traction in this thing. The amount of grip really, really is impressive. Obviously, you can do burnouts, and obviously you can do donuts. It's 760 horsepower. But if you're driving reasonably, you know what you're doing, and you're going into corners at the right amount of speed, the grip levels are truly phenomenal. Now, speaking of grip, let's go ahead and do a launch control, shall we, to end this video off strong. What I love about this car is there's no crazy steps to put it into launch control. Once you get it set up in the My Mode settings, it's always good to go, and all you have to do is floor the brake and the gas. You don't have to go into some crazy mode and turn traction on and pray to the moon 3 times. It's just literally good to go. Watch this. Floor the brake, floor the gas. Well guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Let me let you listen to this thing without me talking. See you guys in the next video.